and welcome to the BigCeaz Show. Today we have none other than the legendary former Florida Panther and the current Islander, Anthony Duclair. Anthony, welcome to the BigCeaz Show. How you doing, man?
I'm
How's your
doing
summer
great.
going?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. Summer's going great. Can't complain.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, it's been crazy this year for the Florida Panthers. I see you doing a lot of great things with the community, which is really awesome. You continue to still help the young generation down here in South Florida, which is really awesome to see. And we'll kind of get into that a little bit later on. So let's jump right to it. Let's kind of tell us about your childhood growing up. I know you're from Montreal. What made you start being a hockey fan, or what got you into the sport? I know it's really popular in Canada, and what made you want to pursue being a hockey player?
Yeah, so I'm from Montreal, born and raised. My background, my family background is more into football. My dad and my uncle played football
I
growing
was
up.
gonna ask you about that.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Who's your favorite
exactly.
team?
My favorite team. I got a favorite player. It's Lamar Jackson. So I kind of
I love
follow.
it. From Fort Lauderdale. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. But growing up in Montreal, I say Canada as a whole, I think you put in the skates pretty early, whether you like it or not, and then you go from there. But my dad does big sports fan, big hockey fan, and he put me in skates at 2 years old actually, and never looked back. I absolutely loved it. I loved getting out there, and then started playing hockey at 4 years old, and obviously we all know the Montreal Canadiens, how much of an impact and influence they have on the
Yeah.
city. So it was real easy to get into. Watch the Montreal Canadiens, my whole childhood, and obviously whenever I could. Tickets were pretty expensive, but I'm into a handful of games at the Bell Center, so I still remember to this day my first game going there and just how excited I was, and just seeing the fans and just the atmosphere in that building was unbelievable, and just knew right then and there that that's what I wanted to do, and grew up, playing hockey, all year round. Even in the summertime, we have summer tournaments and stuff like that. So, um, and then grew up in the going up in the ranks. Played my midget AAA. It's called the Lac Lions. I put with Jonathan
Okay.
Duran, Michael Matheson, and then a couple more guys that
Former
ended up
Panther.
playing in the junior ranks, and then was lucky enough to be drafted by the Quebec Ramparts. Played my junior hockey there up in Quebec, which was pretty nice. It's only a 3 hour drive north
Okay.
from Montreal, so
So
my
you weren't
parents
too
and my
far away
family.
from home, right?
Yeah, exactly. My parents and my family would come down pretty often, so
Oh, that's awesome.
I wasn't too alone, and then yeah, got drafted, and then by the Rangers, and then started my career. But yeah, growing up in Montreal, I think it's pretty easy to get into hockey at a young age for sure.
So what was the hockey scene like growing up? And I know you went to a lot of Montreal games. What was your particular favorite moment going, or particular favorite Montreal game that you remember that's like, wow, this is definitely what I want to do? And how have your parents been there? How have they been supporting you? Like, what is it like having parents that support you and wanting to do what you want to do?
Yeah, I remember actually going with my dad. I was really young, and I saw Jumbo Joe playing for the Boston Bruins. He's a big
I love
captain,
it.
and
Yes.
I remember I remember going to that game, and I think that was one of the games that marked me. And like I said, just the atmosphere in that building was unbelievable, and I think those fans are pretty special, and it's always nice to play at the Bell Center. But as a kid watching, obviously anytime you have the chance to go there, it's pretty cool. So got the chance actually to play in that Pee Wee Quebec tournament with the Montreal Canadiens jersey. We represented the team. It was in Quebec City at the Colisée Pepsi. It's no longer there. It's the San Videotron now, but yeah, it was really good memories for sure.
So is there a player that you idolized growing up? You know, kind of with we know the NHL growing up, there wasn't really that much diversity, right? Is there a particular player that you followed, maybe Weeksies or someone like that, Peter Worrell, that kind of like, hey, they can be in the NHL, maybe I can.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Big Pete, who I consider a friend today, definitely watched him growing up. Guys like that. My guy was Jerome McGinley. He's obviously a big body. He
Yeah.
played the game physical and he can score goals. I'm pretty sure he was the first black captain to play in the
Yeah.
league. So, just definitely a guy that I idolized growing up. And obviously, like I said, I was a big Montreal Canadiens fan, so I really enjoyed Saku Koivu as well. He
Oh,
was one of
such
my
a great
favorite
one.
player, yeah. And his story was unbelievable. I remember his first game back at the Bell Center from cancer treatments, and just the way that the crowd welcomed him back, and the whole league in general welcomed him back was a pretty special moment. And definitely another guy that I looked up to for sure.
Did you ever get an opportunity to talk to him personally, exchange any messages between one another?
No, never had the opportunity. Obviously, times have changed now. It's a little bit easier to interact with one another, but yeah, back then was really hard, almost impossible, I would say,
Right.
to for a kid like me to reach out to players. But like I said, just having the opportunity just to go to some games live in action was just enough for me.
Right? So that far away, even though you guys didn't interact one on one, just him being on the ice, his story, and just what he's been through throughout his career kind of inspired you to be who you are too. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, that's awesome. Let's kind of go into you being drafted in the NHL. Talk about that moment of, man, I made it. This is now it's time to take the opportunity and skate with it. Talk about that moment.
Yeah, I think it was pretty cool. My draft was pretty awesome because it all happened in one day. Usually, the draft is first round one night, and then second to seventh the next day. But for every reason, we had the whole draft all in one day. So for a guy like me who's projected to go, in the later rounds was great because I didn't have to come back a second day. But
You didn't have to wait like everybody else, right?
exactly. I absolutely loved it. But listen, getting drafted is one thing, and it was a dream come true. My draft was in New Jersey. My family came down. We were staying actually in New York and near Times Square, and then
Nice.
we drove down to Jersey. And when the third round came and I heard my name, honestly, so many emotions came up. You think about your parents, you think about your friends, your family. How much they've done for you, how much they sacrificed for you to get there. And I was filled with emotions. Hugged my little brother first, my mom, my dad. I had a couple friends there as well, but I had a couple tears before I went down. I wanted to wipe them off before I go down and meet the New York staff. But it's such a day full of emotions. Really a dream come true. Obviously, there's a lot more work to be done, but just having that moment with your family and your close ones is really special. And to be in New York already, in the New York area already, and being drafted by them was pretty cool as well.
Talk about that moment. Being you guys didn't have development camp then. It was kind of more of a tournament, right?
You
Or did you guys
know,
have development camp?
yeah. So we had development camp the very next day, actually. So
Oh, okay. So literally you get drafted and jump right in.
yeah. So yeah, that's what they explained to me right when I shook their hands, and they're like, "We're starting right tomorrow." I'm like, "I don't have my gear." Like, don't
Oh
worry
man.
about it. They're like, "Don't worry about it. We got you covered." I'm like, okay, no worries. And then, lucky enough, I think the third day they shipped my equipment. So the first 2 days, I did my first NHL experience with like brand new skates. I usually wear Bauer skates. They gave me CCM skates and just
Okay.
felt really uncomfortable. But I mean, it didn't
My
really matter. I mean, I'm wearing an NHL jersey. It didn't matter at all. I was just happy to be there and very grateful for sure.
awesome. Is there anybody that kind of like when you were on the ice during practice that kind of really hit you? It's like, man, this is really it. I'm in the NHL. Is there a particular moment?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think when I came back for the actual training camp, that's where it really hit me. The rookie camp, or sorry, the development camp in July is one thing, but then you come back in September and do you're with the big boys now, and then for me, I'm just seeing Marty St. Louis, Henrik Lundqvist, Rick Nash, Dan Girardi,
Oh,
just legends of the game.
legends.
Obviously, don't want to say one word. I'm a 18-year-old rookie coming in, but just seeing those guys, just wanting to learn from them, from afar, seeing what they do in terms of preparation and things like that. I mean, it's such a difference between junior hockey or college hockey to the pro level. So for myself, the first 2 years of camp there, my first year I didn't stick around too long, but I was just very grateful to have the opportunity to just be around those guys for sure.
And then I'm sure it motivated you to want to jump up to that level, right? Just being around those guys, I can only imagine. Is there any stories you want to talk about any interactions you had with Lundqvist? He's such a legend. He's such a great goaltender. Just the way his demeanor is on the ice. Anything particular you want to share with us? Your encounter with Lundqvist, your first time?
Yeah, he's such a nice guy, down to earth guy. Even though he's accomplished so much,
Right.
you just get to meet him, get to know him. Just just a guy that cares about his teammates, and he really takes his job really seriously. Just the way he prepares himself every single day. Coming to the rink and just trying to get better. And I remember just one time I was with during. After practice. I think it was, and towards the end of the camp, this is my second year. I'm 19 years old now, and I'm getting to know the guys a little bit better, and we're doing some shootouts. And Hank is a guy that even after practice, he's got to stick around and
Right.
take a bunch of shootout, take a bunch of breakaways because he just wants to get better. And I just remember I was going and I scored like three in a row, and I was going against Zook, and
Oh man.
and then you could tell Hank was getting mad. He was getting mad, and Zook was like kept pushing me going, kept like keep going,
Like,
like get him under his skin. And they started
that's so
started screaming in Swedish. He's probably telling me off, but no,
that's so
he's
great.
all good. But that's just the competitive side, competitive nature of who he is. But like I said, he's such a nice guy, and definitely loved playing with him for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's so unfortunate that he had to call it quits because of his heart condition. I honestly thought he could have played 3 more years. He was just such an awesome person too.
Yeah.
You could tell his work ethic and his
Hmm.
demeanor. He was definitely a Panther killer. Every time we played him, we could never get past him. So anytime we played the Rangers, I'm like, dang, is Henrik Lundqvist going to be on the ice this year?
He
But
was
yeah,
a
no.
he was a confidence killer in practice too, because
Oh
I mean
man, I'm
it was
sure.
really tough to score on
So
him.
you
So
scoring those 3 goals, you must have been like,
uh,
okay,
I
okay.
was in the clouds. I was in the clouds.
It's like you got to put those on like a frame or something. Those pucks, man.
Yeah, yeah, it's stuck in here. That's all that counts.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now you played with Tampa Bay and Florida. Um, how would you describe your differences between the two organizations?
Yeah, I mean, obviously in Florida I was there way longer. But I would say, both of them are first class organizations. Just the growth you've seen since I would say I first entered the league till now, such a big difference. The fans are awesome. It's always a great time to play there. But in terms of organization, I mean, they really take care of you, on and off the ice. They do whatever you need, they provide whatever. And obviously living in Florida is is great. There's no complaints. Guys love it there. Guys love playing there. And and especially the amount of success that both teams had in recent years.
Yeah,
It just makes it that
with it
much
like
fun.
six
So
years in a row now that they've been in the Stanley Cup Finals. So
yeah, exactly. So I mean, that just goes to tell you, it starts from the ownership group, for them to just step up and provide the players what they need, and that's what's makes it special to play there for sure.
Looking back, uh, which Florida hockey moment stands out the most to you? Um, you've been here in Florida for 3 years, and then you played a little bit in Tampa. Which moment sticks out the most to you?
I mean, it has to be, that run, going to the Stanley Cup Finals. There's a couple for sure, but that was probably a special moment. I think for me, just the way my year started. I mean, I go back to that year in July. I tore my Achilles, and
Yeah,
coming off my best season of my career, that was really heartbreaking. To go down with an injury like that, but I made it so that I wouldn't be down. I started my foundation because of it, so I didn't want to just sulk and put my head down. I wanted to make something out of it, and started my foundation because I had so much free time, and obviously worked really hard every single day. First one at the rink. Those long days, but it was all worth it. And came back in February. It was
yeah,
bit of a weird to come back, mid-season like that, but we made it happen. I thank obviously the Florida training staff, for working with me the whole time. It's obviously a major injury and not really hard, very hard to come back from. So very grateful for them. And then you know at the time, we were kind of on the bubble. Didn't know if we are going to make playoffs or not. And, once I came back and, we started to get on the run a little bit, and then we started to build some confidence.
yeah,
And then, we know what happened from there. And, as a kid, you're looking forward to those moments, right? You want to play in the
yeah,
Stanley Cup final. You want to, play at the highest level against, the best players. And after, knocking out Boston and then Toronto and then Carolina, and then you're finally there. It was such a cool moment, and then especially to share with the fans there in Florida. They were awesome since game one, and the atmosphere there was unbelievable. And obviously moments I'll never forget. It was sucks that we lost, but just being part of that and being part of that whole run was pretty special.
yeah. That I remember that year, vague. That was the year that I was ended up being on cardiac arrest. I remember that series against Boston. We were down 3-1, and just for us to come back and win that series was just so incredible. I remember in my house just literally rolling up and down, just screaming like crazy, like a wild man. I was like, man, we did it. It was such an unbelievable moment. And yeah, you the year before got injured with the Achilles, so you coming back in February was like us acquiring another player. So you gave us that extra edge, and you know, it's cool to see that you, with the adversity that you've been through, and using that time away from the ice, and I'm sure it could have been very devastating for you, obviously, because you're so used to like a routine, right? You're
Mhm.
used to doing things, getting to the ice, practicing, going to games, and all that was taken away from you from that little moment. And for you to go out there and start your own foundation and um, being able to use the time off to recuperate, to use that as an advantage, it was really, really awesome to hear. I kind of want to show you this picture and describe this moment. And let's see if you remember this moment.
Of course I do. Of course.
I believe that was game 4 against Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What an epic series. That
Yeah.
was actually the moment I woke up out of my cardiac arrest, and my
Oh.
friends told me, they were like, Caesar, you missed one of the greatest games. They went into 4 overtimes. I was like, no way. Like, that was the game before that, and then I was able to watch this game actually from my bed in the hospital, and just seeing you, like, celebrate with Chucky after he scores the game winner with with a few seconds left on the clock.
Mhm.
Talk to us about that moment when it's like, "Wow, we're going to the Stanley Cup Finals."
Yeah, that was always, I would say, one of the biggest goals in the Panthers' history. That's a goal you'll see on a highlight reel for years to come. But Chucky obviously was huge. He was huge since we acquired him, or Florida acquired him, and he's such a leader, such a guy that you want to go to war with, and obviously you hate to play against him, and you love to play with him. He's one of those guys. But yeah, I mean, once he scored that goal with a few seconds to go, and then just that feeling of knowing that you're going to Stanley Cup final. I don't think you can really describe it, to be honest. It's just one of those feelings like, you're just so proud. You're just so happy for your brothers beside you. And you just, knowing that you're going to be playing more hockey and you got 4 more wins to go until you can, hoist, the famous trophy that, we all dream about. So, when it all happened, especially, just winning that game at home as well, that's something that I'll always remember for sure. And you can see on my face there how happy we are. But yeah, that was a pretty cool moment.
Awesome. Yeah, and I got to personally meet Matthew Tkachuk this year. Truly such an awesome person. He literally has the biggest heart anyone could have, and his demeanor on the ice is second to none as well. He's a guy that you don't want to. He's a guy that you wish you had on your team. Like, you
Mhm.
hate to play against him, but when he's on your side, it's like, oh man, I love this guy. This guy
Yeah.
is definitely one of those guys that you want
Mhm.
to have as a teammate. Any particular moment that when Matthew Tkachuk arrived to Florida, that kind of when he got there, any particular moment where you're like, oh man, this guy is going to help us get to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, just the first game, I think, was on the island. Just the way.
Ironically.
Yeah, exactly. I was hurt, so I was obviously back home in Florida, watching the game, and just the intensity he brought, and just him coming out there, scoring big goals, hitting bodies, banging bodies, and just setting the tone right away. The first game, kind of setting the tone for himself, setting the tone for the team, and just letting the boys know this is him. This is how he's gonna play. I think everybody kind of leading on him right away. He brought that leadership, obviously off the ice, but he's obviously brought that on the ice as well. So, just the way he came in and just was himself. It was pretty easy locker room to come into. Honestly, the guys are so welcoming. The guys are such a good group in that locker room. Not surprised about the success they had in the past couple of years, because those are really good guys and they care about each other, and it's really a fun environment to come to work every day. And obviously the skill levels is something, but just the team chemistry is what propels them to the next level.
Any particular moment that you loved, um maybe plane rides, going to games, uh that you miss being in Florida?
Um, I mean, yeah, just the guys. I mean, still keep on contact with the guys still to this day. Um,
Are you a big poker guy?
I was not a poker guy on the
Okay.
plane. I'm going right to sleep. I'm going right to sleep on the plane. I'm the big nap guy. I'm the guy that's in the back just snoozing. But
Okay.
I do hear some guys, screaming and stuff. But I always Eki's always battling against somebody. So it's always funny to hear these stories. Who's down? Who's up? I mean, once you land in the city, you can tell just by the moods who's losing, who's winning. So no, it's fun. Guys are awesome. Just even just going to dinners on the road, or hanging out at home. Pregame meals. We had pregame meals on Las Olas. Just those little moments, or something that are pretty cool.
What's your favorite pregame meal?
I mean, for me, I'm a big salad with salmon, and then I'll
Okay.
go a big plate of pasta with meat sauce and chicken.
Okay.
Every time, yeah, every time.
Is there a favorite restaurant in Los Angeles that you like?
Uh, oh man, what was that?
Not to put you on the spot.
No, no, no. What's that spot? The guys, I forgot the name. That's kind of crazy. I was going there for a couple years. Um, that's crazy. It's back in my mind, but I can't really. I'm sure you know it too.
No worries. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
uh,
No worries. Um, kind of talk about. I want to get you to your moment being in Florida. You obviously played for Bill Zito in Columbus. Talk about when you got traded to Florida, or you got signed or traded? I
Yeah,
believe
yeah, signed as a free agent.
signed
Yeah,
as a free
so
agent. So what did Bill Zito reach out to you and say, "Hey, we think this is going to be a good spot for you"? How did that transpire?
yeah, so it was actually the COVID summer, so we didn't know when next season was going to begin. And he first reached out to me, then yeah, July 1st, and like you said, we had encountered each other in Columbus, and we had a good relationship there. And then once he got the job in Florida, he reached out because I was a free agent, and he really wanted me to come over. He said that he thinks that's going to be a good spot for me. Um, and so yeah, we waited a couple months just because, like I said, we didn't know when this next season was going to begin and stuff like that. So, but then finally got a deal done. It was pretty easy. And then got there. And yeah, Billy's been awesome. He's been very supportive since I got there. And then yeah, even with my foundation, I want to say that he was. One of those guys that I can lean onto, and any initiatives, whether it be Martin Luther King Day or Black History Month. He's one of the first guys. Him and Brett Peterson, one of the first guys to come to me and ask me questions, ask me what they can do and stuff like that. So that's just Billy, as a person.
Right.
Obviously, you all know him as a GM and all the moves he's made, but as a person, he's just a really good guy, really good human being, and just very grateful for those 3 years in Florida for sure.
That's awesome. And Zito is known for being bold and building competitive rosters. What stood out to you about his leadership and style and vision?
Yeah, I mean, super aggressive, like you said. Since I got there, I think the team was already well constructed, and just the moves he's done. Going to get guys like Claude Giroux, Ben Chariot. Even when we were having a historic season, he still got those guys. He still wanted to improve, and it was fun. It was fun to play. Just going to the rink, knowing that everybody's on the same page, and we want to win, and that's as a player, that's what you want, right? So.
Yeah.
You want to be competitive every single year. I don't think anybody goes into the season, wanting to go home in April. So, we all, as NHL players, we all work very hard in the summer and during the year to, reach the ultimate goal. And, when you got everybody on the same page, it definitely helps.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think the biggest one for me is when he traded Huberto, who had, I think he scored the most points on the team that year, and just to trade one of your best players for another good player or a superstar was, it just shows um how much balls he had, right? And he's like, we need to go and get better. We're good enough now, but we're not good enough to be like the Tampas of the league. So, you know, just I think him being a former player's agent also helps, and being able to have that relationship with you guys is definitely helped him out. And he's definitely I've got to meet him personally as well. Such a great person. His whole
Mhm.
family is really nice, down to earth, and he definitely does a lot for the players too. Anything you guys want, he lets you guys do your thing on the ice and in the locker room, and he's not he's always there to learn too. So
Yeah.
he's not always afraid to do something that he doesn't want to do. Kind of going into a little bit of growing the game of color. Um, so you use your platform. You said when you got hurt with your Achilles injury. Talk about that moment that you wanted to do something to help the community.
Yeah.
What
I got
what 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 transpired that idea?
Yeah, so when I got hurt, I went right back to Florida to get my surgery, and then a couple weeks later, it was Brett Peterson. I want to give all the credit to him, who came to me and said that he had just blocked off rooftop patio in during All-Star weekend in Florida. Those happened that year in Fort Lauderdale, and he told me, I can use the space and do whatever I want with it. So I went back home. Called my boys back home, and kind of game plan what we wanted to do, and starting my own foundation was something I always wanted to do, to be honest, since I was younger, um, just to give back, and I think that was the perfect opportunity, right? I would do my rehab, my workouts all in the morning, and in the afternoon, I would work, on the event, and just happened to me the NHL All-Star weekend was there, so everybody, a lot of people from the league offices, and a lot of players, and a lot of people of influence of the game were there in town. So I thought it was a great idea, to just invite everyone, and it's kind of soft launch my foundation. And yeah, the event went awesome. You can kind of check it on my Duclair Foundation page on Instagram.
I'll put everything on the description below.
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. A lot of people came by. Guys on the team came by. Brett was obviously in attendance. Bill Zito, Vinny Viola, who I
That's awesome.
give a lot of credit to. He came and gave a big donation, and yeah, I mean, I just wanted to promise to South Florida that I was going to be here for the long haul, whether I played for the team or not. I think it was very important for me to reach out to the community and give back. I think there's a lot of backgrounds and ethnicities, especially in Florida,
Yeah.
that we can attack and just grow the game that way. And I think if you can grow the game in Florida, you can kind of grow it anywhere. So
Right.
there's obviously a need for more hockey rinks in Florida, and I promised to build some synthetic hockey rinks around the state, and we finally built one last year in Lauderdale Lakes. It's a high school, Boyd H. Anderson High School. It was primarily a lot of Haitians, where I'm a Haitian background
Oh, cool.
myself. So yeah, both my parents were born in Haiti, and then moved to Montreal. So I wanted to attack the Haitian community for sure, and kind of just introduce them to sport, right? So I mean, a lot of these kids, I've no idea what hockey is, and
Right.
don't know who the Panthers are, and it's nice to see, kind of just introduce them something new, right? So I think just sometimes just giving them the opportunity to just giving them a stick and a puck and a net, I think it goes a long way, and you just never know what could happen from that. So I think with that, and then obviously building hockey camps as well, for the kids that are obviously playing hockey as well. So just a lot of projects. Honestly, it's only my third year now, so there's a lot to come, and a lot more projects to be had.
So, kind of want to go into like, what is a synthetic rink for those that are listening or watching this? Describe what a synthetic rink is?
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like plastic, but not. So you can get on the ice. It could be indoor, outdoor, training tools. So it's an actual rink, and you could get on there with your skates or your shoes, and you could play hockey. So it's unique because obviously in Florida, how hot it
It's
is.
like 90 degrees, like almost
Yeah,
all year round,
exactly.
right?
So yeah, in Canada we could build some real ice outdoor hockey rinks, but obviously in Florida is a little different. But I think it's a great training tool where you can skate or you can get out there with your shoes and play hockey. So the technology has really changed and really grown since I was young. I did use synthetic hockey rink as a training tool when I was younger,
Mhm.
and the one we built with the companies it's called Glice. We partnered with them last year, and they've done such an amazing job. If you look at the rink, it kind of you would think it's actually a real rink. So it's really well done. Boards are kind of like NHL quality boards,
That's
and
awesome.
you can get out there, whenever you want, and it's right in the backyard of a high school. So we're gonna plan to build other ones and go from there.
That's awesome. Where was the first rink that you guys implement the synthetic ice?
It's in Lauderdale Lakes, so it's at Boyd Anderson High School in
Okay.
Lauderdale Lakes. Yeah,
Awesome. Boyd Anderson High School. Yeah, I not too far from where I live. Used to I used to be a high school football coach, so we used to play them all the time. So that's pretty cool. And
yeah,
especially Boyd Anderson, they have a diverse school there, so that's perfect. And that's awesome that you guys decided to build something there.
mm.
Um, it's kind of growing the game of with the synthetic ice. I remember Ekblad uses it a lot at his home. Is there any particular player that um continues to help you guys out with the foundation, um, with the synthetic ice and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, I've had Ryan Lomberg. He came to my camps my first 2 years. He's a guy who spends his summers in Florida as well. So huge shout out to him. Coming by. I know Chucky. 1 year. FaceTime the kids. He
That's
was back
awesome.
home. So I try to get kind of a special guest speaker each day to come just talk to the kids. Peter Rorell, who's been huge since I started my foundation, has been a big help since day one. Always comes by and helps. So he's a big part of it too. So, like I said, obviously with my contacts, I try to invite as many people as I can, and whether it's in person or just a quick 5 minute FaceTime, I think it goes a long way for the kids. So they've
Right.
really been enjoying it, is what the feedback I've been getting from some kids and the parents. So we're obviously gonna keep building that and keep building every year.
That's awesome. Was there a specific moment where a kid kind of like had a great reaction? Do you remember any particular moment where the families were like, "Thank you so much for doing this"? That's like, wow, you know, this means everything.
Yeah, actually happened 2 years ago. My first camp was in Montreal. Um, and this mom who came to me in Boko Imama. So I run the camps with Boko Imama. He plays for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and one of the moms came up to us and said, her kid was about to quit hockey early this year
Wow.
because he's facing so much racism and so much bullying, and yeah, and then she saw that we were doing our camp, and she enrolled him, and she just told him, listen, go to this camp, and if you want to quit, then quit, but at least try this camp out. And he was a very shy kid. We kind of expected that from some of the kids. I was a shy kid myself growing up,
Right.
so, but
I was kind of the opposite.
yeah,
I
exactly.
was a chirper.
So sometimes you don't really hear from the kids themselves. You kind of hear from their parents. But yeah, just for the mom to come over and say, yeah, her kid wanted to quit, and then right after the week, after a full week of the camp with us, he was more motivated than ever, and he wanted to start back up the following year, and he just had a big smile on his face, and he
Wow,
absolutely loved it. So, and he still plays hockey to this day. So
that's
that
awesome.
was one of those moments. Me and Boko looked at each other like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And that was just our first year doing it, right? We didn't really know what we are doing exactly. We are
That's
just
awesome.
going with the flow. Obviously, now we got some more experience. We know how to run camps a little bit more properly now. But yeah, just hearing those stories, it goes a long way. And sometimes you don't really have to hear it. You just do your thing, and sometimes you can touch other people without even knowing, and that's the beauty of it. And for us, we just want to provide this service, provide this opportunity for these kids, and hopefully that they love it and they learn, and they gain from it.
That's awesome, and keep doing such an amazing job. That's so amazing, and for you to keep expanding the game of hockey in Florida, especially these last couple of years with the team winning. I've noticed a lot of kids are going to the rinks now.
Mhm,
The diversity is growing, and
mhm,
especially because football is so big down here in Florida, right?
mhm.
It's one of the biggest sports where a lot of the sports athletes come from, and I think it's such a great opportunity for you to do here in Florida and grow the game. I kind of want to talk. Have you spoken to PK Subban, and is there any particular player that's helped you, encourage you, and told you that you're doing such an amazing job?
I was actually more tight with his younger brother, Jordan Subban, just because he was 95, just like
Okay,
me. And
right.
so, we played together. I think it was like U18s, Team Canada and stuff like that. So, PK's a little older than me, so we weren't really tight. But Jordan and I were pretty close, and then our dads got pretty close over the years. But for me, I'm part of the HDA Hockey Diversity Alliance, which I joined back in 2020, and it's kind of the
Awesome.
same nonprofit where we help kids of diverse backgrounds get in the game of hockey, mainly in Toronto, but we're obviously gonna expand around the country and then hopefully North America. But we've already affected over 1,000 families where we provide car service, free ice, free equipment, and free training on ice. And I think just being part of that kind of motivated me to do my own thing as well. And those guys, guys like Wayne Simmons, Akeem Aliu, Nazem Kadri, Chris Stewart, those guys that have kind of paved the way for myself, kind of paved the way for a lot of minority hockey players along the years. I've motivated me to do something and then be in the community and because it was a tough. Tough sometimes on myself, growing up, being the only black player on the team,
Hmm.
only black player on both teams. And then, obviously for my parents as well, being the only, black person and at the rink sometimes. So, obviously, had my fair share of, racism encounters and stuff like that. But, and then you hear stories, still to this day where kids are going through that. So I think for myself and being the position I am today, I just want to be a role model for these kids, letting them know that these things happen. But if you put your head down, work, love the game, and the game will love you back. And just letting them know that if I made it, that you can make it too. You know what I mean? There's a lot of
Right.
instances where people would just quit and let down, but I'm here to tell them that they can accomplish whatever they want in life, whether it's in hockey or any other business, if they put their mind to it.
No, and I think it's really important that we share our stories too. Growing up myself, I've always been bullied too. Being in a wheelchair, just dealing with situations in school, but I've never let that put me down. I've always laughed about it, and I kind of went with the flow. And people started to see that, like, oh man, he's just as normal as we are. And I think us using our platforms and telling our stories and showing people that, hey, just because we're different doesn't mean that we're bad people, or w- we can't do anything, right? And that's really awesome to hear too from you.
Yeah, for sure.
And kind of going into, you got the chance to play with SoFlo, the SoFlo League down here in Florida,
Mhm.
and you got to meet I believe who was it? You and Momberg played in that game. Talk about your experience of playing that 3-on-3 with that small ice here on rink on the beach. Talk about that
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, I think it's great. I think it's awesome. It's a great training tool too, because in the summertime, you're obviously training and you're practicing, but you kind of want to get into game situations. And I think that little 3-on-3 ice is awesome because the game is played in such close tight areas. Yes, it's up and down, but then once you
And
get
there's
in
like
the zone.
literally no whistles, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's great for the cardio too, for sure. Especially when you got six guys and you're you don't have much rest. But a lot of guys come, a lot of guys in the league stop by. You got Duane, I think Zadorov. You got Lomberg. You got a couple first-round picks over the years that have come by. So the intensity is really, really good, and the players are really good. That league is awesome, and it's great atmosphere. Everyone's there having a good time, and you're getting a great workout in. So that's definitely something I try to play in every year for sure.
Yeah, and I believe Nico Blatchman and Tim Kent are the
Yep.
co-owners of that league. So, shouts out to them. They
Yep.
did such an incredible job. I
Yep.
got to experience it firsthand when Johnny Lazarus from the Daily Show on the NHL Network came down. He hit me up. He's like, "Hey, you should come out and watch it." And I literally was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And I got to meet Peter Worrell too. He's such a great guy, like you said, and just them doing that little league game for the autism awareness and just seeing how they play. It gets pretty intense out there.
Oh yeah.
Those
Oh
ki-
yeah.
those guys are they get pretty serious. So
Oh yeah.
it was so much fun to watch too because it is a high scoring game, and I
Yeah.
believe you guys play what 4 periods, I believe.
That's a good question. It's changed
Or
a
I
lot.
guess it depends, right?
Yeah, yeah, but the intensity is really high. Guys don't want to lose. Yeah, it gets intense. It's playoffs and things like that. So, like I said, it definitely gets a cardio going, and it's nice to see the boys as well.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great to hear. So now we're gonna go into Big C's quick hitters. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions here, and then we'll kind of wrap it up here, Anthony. Um, really appreciate you coming on here as well. So let's get started with Big C's quick hitters. Favorite city you played in so far?
Apart from New York, um, I would say Florida.
Florida. Which Tampa or South Florida? I got you
I
there.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, listen, I was in Florida for 3 years and only Tampa for a couple months, and I absolutely love my time in Tampa. I know you're gonna hate to hear that, but I love my time in Tampa. But
Honestly,
just because I was there, just
I'm
because
not
I was
gonna.
in South Florida for longer, I would say South Florida.
Okay. I'm not gonna get mad. Don't worry. I actually like the Tampa region area.
Yeah,
Beautiful beaches,
beautiful.
beautiful food over there.
It's
It's
awesome.
really nice. The Clearwater area. So, we got some Panther people that live up in Tampa. So
Hmm.
no
Yeah,
worries. You're
yeah.
good. You're good. Uh, toughest goalie you've ever faced it.
uh, oof, I would say Carey Price.
Ooh, okay. Any particular
Yeah.
moment that you're like, man, I can't get past this guy?
Just playing against him, he was such a big guy in the net and so agile, so athletic, and it's just like I just remember going one on one against him and just seeing no holes really. It's just like you can't, like you're shooting the puck, but there's not many holes. If you want to beat, a guy like that, Vasilevsky is one of those guys too, but guys like that take up so much space in the net. It really has to be a perfect shot.
Well, nice. Best chirper you've ever played against or with?
Best chirper. Oh,
I know you've had
I
some.
want to say Zach Ronaldo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Okay.
played with him. Obviously, played against him, but I played with him in Arizona, and he became one of my best friends. And I remember in my earlier years in New York, he was playing for Philly, and we got into a bit of a chirping match. And then years later, we played together. And
Oh, so
yeah,
you
so
actually have a
again,
chirping game?
I mean, if it happens, right? It
Okay,
happens, right?
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
So how did it start?
Yeah, so Zach, this guy's always talking, always trying to get under people's skin. And I remember in Arizona, every single game he would go after everybody, and he wasn't scared of anyone. So I really, you love to play with a guy like that for sure.
Have you ever played with Paul Bisnet?
I
Because I
never
know
played.
you never played with him. Okay.
No, no.
Okay. You might need to teach him a few lessons because he only scored 7 goals his whole career. So
I think in the chirping world, he's got that covered.
I don't know. I think I beat him this year.
Yeah. Well, you're up there. You're up
All
there.
right. One moment that always kept the locker room loose, or one teammate. Any particular teammate?
Teammate, Jumbo Joe. I mean, this
Ooh,
guy was just a
talk about
legend.
playing with him in Florida though, that year, right?
Yeah, exactly. Only got the chance to play with him one year, but just that year had so much fun. You're laughing every single day. This guy, I mean, it was his last year playing, and just a smile and the joy that he brought to the locker room every single day kind of uplifted everybody. And I think even though he wasn't in the lineup every game, like he uplifted everybody, and he was a big reason why we finished first that year. Off the away from the rink, this guy he had more energy than anybody I ever met. I mean, he's always doing something, and it was awesome to play with for sure.
If you could go on a line with any player, or past or present, what two players would you have on your line?
Oof. I mean, you got to. I don't think you can go wrong with McDavid and Crosby.
I
Those two
like
guys.
that.
I mean, I don't know how I would be. I probably ruin that line, but just
I don't know.
but let them do all the plays. But I mean, obviously, I don't think you can beat those two guys for sure.
You had a pretty wicked shot, man. You
Thank you,
definitely you
thank
you
you.
you had your best one of your best careers here in Florida. No, so I think you'd be pretty good. Um, Best road trip memory with the Panthers.
Best road trip memory with the Panthers. Oh, um, that's a good one. We had a few for sure. I mean, anytime. I mean, it's pretty biased, but anytime you come to Montreal,
Oh, I
and
bet.
it's always a good time. And we had a rookie party in Montreal here one year, and that was pretty fun. Spencer Knight was our rookie that night,
I
so
love that guy.
we we took care of him pretty good.
Or did he take care of you guys?
Yeah, bill wise, he definitely took care of the bill, but yeah, no, we had definitely a great time for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm kind of gonna put you on the spot here for this last question. Favorite jersey you've worn in your career so far?
Oh man, Caesar, eh? You get
Hey, this is
listen.
big. This is
I
quick hitters, bro.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I play for the Islanders now, and I absolutely love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. I've had some great years in my career. You go back to the first time I got drafted, putting that jersey on for the first time. Obviously Florida, Tampa, playing for Chicago. This was historic teams. But the Islanders right now are my team, and absolutely love them. Love playing for them. Love the fans. We got a great hockey rink, and it's been a joy, and I'm looking forward for a great season next year, and looking forward to bouncing back and hopefully get into playoffs and making a run.
That's awesome. I love those answers. Uh, Real quick, kind of talking about the Islanders before we let you go. Matthew Schaefer, the Shape Daddy, uh, he drafted in the first round this year by the Islanders. Have you reached out to him uh, yet?
No, we haven't. He's he's obviously going to be a huge piece for this organization for years to come. Just watching his interviews and stuff like that, looks like a very nice young man, and looking forward to meeting him at training camp and just putting him under our wing. That's our guy. Just looking at his highlights in junior, you can tell he's an absolutely great skater. He's gonna be a huge piece, for our decor, and we're very lucky to have him. Looking forward to meeting him and building a long relationship with him for sure.
That's awesome, and I'm really excited to see what you do this year, Anthony. You were always one of our favorite players down here in South Florida. You definitely had so many great memories that we continue to relish, and continue doing the amazing work you do here in the community. And anytime you're down in South Florida again, let me know. I would love to help out in any way I can. I definitely love helping out the young generation. That's definitely why I created this platform. I wanted to inspire people, not let them know that sports isn't about just winning or losing, right? It creates that bond between brothers and the teammates, your coaches, and things that you've learned on and off the ice or off the field and whatnot, and just those relationships you create. How has sports and hockey helped you throughout your life?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head there. Hockey has been, everything for me, meant everything for my family and I. It's opened up so many doors and opportunities. Some things I can't even imagine growing up. So, I just look back to my younger days, dreaming to be in this position, and I'm living my childhood dream every single day, for the past 11 years now. So super grateful, always will be, just to be in the position I am today. And just meeting so many cool people, people that I grew up watching, people that I admire, watching on TV to this day. I'm in the game, but I'm still a fan of the game, so I'm always watching games, always watching highlights, and just to be, doing this for a job, doing this for a living, going to the rink every day, like you said, building a bond with your brothers, building a bond with, all these people, whether it's equipment managers, training staff, equipment staff. It's all a big family, and we're all in it together. And even those guys, they don't get enough credit for what they do, but us players wouldn't be where we are without those guys. So um, it's a big family environment, this sport. And I'm just looking forward to the future, and see what it holds.
Awesome. Any last words for our fans, for anybody, where they can find you, where they can find your foundation?
Yeah, I mean, for my fans, I appreciate you guys. I obviously had a great 3 years in Florida. It was very moments that my family and I will never forget. And Florida is like a second home to me now. I always come back in the off season, and always will do those camps, and looking forward to building more projects through my foundation in South Florida. And yeah, I mean, I know where we'll find you. Sees we'll find you at 11 with the cup with the boys, but
Either there or our elbow room. So, I mean, hey,
wherever, man. I've seen those videos, man. It's hilarious, but no, it's fun. It's fun watching you guys, have fun, and obviously, you guys deserved it all. And next year's a new year, so we're looking forward to trying to dethrone you guys, obviously, but. And
that's all right.
meanwhile, you guys
Bring it.
definitely enjoy it. They definitely enjoy it. You guys deserved it. So, and you're a good people, so it was easy to root for.
That's awesome. No, we really appreciate you, Anthony. You did some a great job with the community. Continue doing that. Continue having a successful career, and we'll definitely be rooting for you, except against the Panthers.
I don't
I
blame you.
hope you have an awesome year this year as well. And like I always say, one shift at a time, one period at a time, one game at a time. Let's go.